My wife Nina and I became pregnant with our son Jason when we were both 20. We admit it was an unplanned pregnancy, but we loved our son and kept him. We did our best to raise Jason to be kind, respectful and treat others well, and we thought we succeeded. Jason worked hard to attend an elite university. Jason and his first wife Sarah had a daughter Simone. Unfortunately, Sarah passed in a car accident before Simone's third birthday. Jason raised Simone until Simone was 4. He met his second at that time, and Jason and his wife moved 2 hours away. Simone lives with us. Jason visits once every 2 months at best. He and his wife would stay for the day, buy Simone a present, then Jason would say it was time to leave. Nina and I suspect he only visits and buys Simone the gift because his wife makes him. His wife, Iris, is a lovely lady. She insists that Simone should move in with them or they should move closer to us because she wants to be Simone's stepmom and spend time with her. But Jason shot the idea down because he says Simone moving in or them moving would hurt his career, and it's best Simone stay with Nina and me. Simone is a tween now and she adores Jason. She makes drawings and cards for him, constantly bakes treats to send to him. It's devastating for her because her daddy is her hero and he doesn't want to spend time with her. Her birthday was in July and she cried when Jason didn't call her to wish her a happy birthday. Iris lied to Simone to make her feel better that the phone lines went down and Jason didn't forget, but Simone didn't believe her. Simone is at summer camp all this week and Jason invited us to a party to celebrate receiving a promotion. During the party, Jason told me how much more money he makes with this promotion and his job title and asked, "You should be proud, old man. Job title and an elite university alumni." I sighed and told Jason that I honestly have not been proud of him as of late. He may have a well-paying job, but he treats his beautiful daughter as if she doesn't matter. Simone is his little girl. She loves him so much and he doesn't even seem to care. Nina came back with drinks and Jason told her what I said. Nina told him that she agreed with me and he didn't treat Simone right. Most of the family says that Nina and I were in the wrong to tell Jason I wasn't proud of him. They said I should know how much that statement hurts at any age because I was never good enough in my own father's eyes. They said that Jason is probably focusing on stabilizing his career and Simone can move in with them after. They also said Jason's promotional party was not the time or place to call him out, and I could have just congratulated Jason on working hard and saved the drama for another day. I feel what I said needed to be said, but most of the family disagrees with Nina and me. Am I the idiot? Edit. Jason does pay for child support. He believes his responsibilities have been met because he pays child support. Also, Jason told us he was attending therapy initially, but we learned later he was being untruthful about it. Finally, Simone sees a child psychologist, but she seems to talk to the psychologist more about school and friends rather than Jason. When raising your grandchild, do you get to have all the opinions in the world regarding your kid? You told the well-deserved truth, and if that made him upset, then he can go sit in syrup. I'm proud of you, not the idiot. I love how OP should know better than to say he isn't proud of his son, according to his family, because OP wasn't good enough for his own father. Meanwhile, this poor little girl has been completely abandoned by her dad. If I were OP, whenever I heard someone tell me I was in the wrong or being a bad father for hurting my son, I'd respond with, "At least I actually raised my child." And OP should have added, "Don't bring any more children into the world." Could you imagine the absolute trauma of the daughter if her dad all of a sudden parents another child? I hope he does not have his daughter move in with him now to spite his dad. He has abandoned his child, physically and spiritually, for the last 7 years. He's not just the idiot in this situation, he's an idiot to the core. The phrase, working on his career so Simone can move in, like when? She's a tween. How long will she have to wait? Another decade? Or maybe when he retires? The idea that Simone living with Jason will hurt his career sounds like a load of horse crap to me. He doesn't care for this little girl, which pains me so much, seeing as she adores him like you said. This is just sad. He's an utter failure at the most important duty of his life. I have 3 children, my boys, Jay, 20, and Jack, tween, and my daughter Jen, 18. Jack is on the autism spectrum, has severe ADHD, and has many other issues. We've known for a while now that Jack will never be self-sufficient. He needs constant care, and while he's been getting better, the doctors say he will probably never be able to be left alone for long periods. Despite this, Jack is the sweetest boy you will ever meet. He's not violent at all and just needs help. Well, we've made sure that both of our kids know that one day they will need to start taking care of Jack when the time comes when their dad and I cannot. Jen has always been neutral, but Jay has always been incredibly obstinate and rude about it. I've put it down to being young and having his life ahead of him, but the year he went to college, he made it very clear to me that he would not be taking care of Jake in any way, and since then, I've been arguing about it with him. Well, right now Jay is home for a few weeks, and things have been too good and should have been a sign to come. Friday night, Jay and Jen said they wanted to talk to their dad and me about something serious. Jay started by saying that he's stepping in because Jen is too afraid to talk to me on her own. He said, very rudely, that neither of them would ever be taking care of Jake. He told me they were not raised to be caretakers and that it's absurd to expect their children to figure out this future issue for them. Jay and I got into an incredibly heated shouting match. I truly believe this kind of mindset is selfish and evil. Jake is their brother, their flesh and blood, and he didn't ask to need to be taken care of. For them to just abandon him like this is absurd. I'm not telling them to put their lives on hold and be his caretaker, only that when the time comes that we can't take care of him, they will need to. We got nowhere and my husband stepped in and took Jay out of the house. I'd hoped to discuss his actions, but now we know that was not the case. Jay has not spoken a word to me since. Jen has been completely cold to me as well. When I brought the subject up last night to figure out her real opinions, she just said, "Are you going to yell at me like you do Jay?" And that was the end. Jay leaves tonight and I am still livid. I asked my husband this morning when he plans to get involved, and he told me to cool my damn jets. He asked why I insist on ruining my relationship with our adult children and told me that Friday night, Jay told him he was going no contact with me because all I do is yell at him. I regret how I handled this now, but at the same time, Jay is acting like a complete brat, and I have a feeling he turned Jen against Jake and me as well. You are the idiot. How is your child's difficulty the responsibility of his siblings? It's your responsibility and your husband's responsibility and nobody else's. If you're really worried about his care when you're elderly, then you need to start making financial provisions for that. Period. Yes, your neurotypical children should have some compassion for their brother, but having been bullied about it since they were young almost certainly had something to do with their digging in their heels. Jay didn't turn Jen against you, you did. Why are your children expected to care for their brother? What agreement did they sign? Were they part of the family planning process when you decided to have another child? I'm super unclear as to how two people, Jay and Jen, are responsible for another person they didn't bring into the world. Your first clue should be that both your children and your husband disagree. Your second clue is that you've harped on this to the point that your oldest child has quit talking to you. Jack is your son. It's your job to take care of him. It's your job to make sure he's taken care of when you can't if he needs it. To just demand your other children shoulder the responsibility because family is an idiot move of the highest order. You'll already be lucky if your oldest ever talks to you again. I, 40 female, have 3 children. 21 female, 19 female and 18 male with my ex-husband. We split 10 years ago and I've been with my wife for 6 years. She has a daughter, Ruby, a young teen from her previous marriage. My ex-husband and I are in an excellent financial position, and we agreed after the divorce that on each child's 18th birthday, we would give 3 gift options and they would have to choose. 1, a car, value up to $20,000. 2, a trip. Or 3, we would furnish the house they were living in. My ex and I paid half and half. Recently, my youngest son asked for a trip. I met Ruby when she was a pre-tween, my wife has 50-50 custody, and since we married and lived together, I have a good relationship with Ruby. My wife and ex-husband are not in such an ideal financial situation, and I pay 70% of the household expenses. My youngest son came to visit me this week and he started telling me that he was planning to visit various countries in Europe. And at some point he mentioned that he looked forward to being 18 years old to get this gift, just like his siblings. Ruby heard. Yesterday, Ruby said she wanted to talk to me. She wanted a birthday party and asked if I could even advance her 18th birthday present to have a nice party. I was a little embarrassed, but I tried to explain that this was an arrangement between my ex-husband and me, and we've been collecting this amount for almost 10 years for each child, and that I hadn't talked to her mother about it. But I made it very clear that if their parents agreed, we could share and have a nice party. She looked disappointed but said it was okay. My wife started yelling at me, saying that I shouldn't have made my favoritism clear to her children and that it was mean to say that to her daughter, knowing that her parents are not so financially able. And now Ruby is asking her parents to help and says I would too. She says that now I should have to pay 60% of the party since I came up with the idea. I said that I didn't know about the plans or whether they had Ruby turning 18 as they decided Ruby's things between them alone. And I pointed out that even though I love Ruby, I pay 60% of the party, money I don't have. It's not very fair since she has her parents. Besides, my children's gifts were years gathering to give, and now at that moment I had nothing saved for it. My wife is complaining about favoritism, but I really don't think that's the case. Ruby is angrier at her parents, not me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and they want her to get a big gift on her birthday, so they want her treated special. Your kids did not get their gifts at her age, even if you were willing to include her in the 18-year-old gift. Ruby is not your child and her parents are responsible for her. You are already supporting her and providing a nice life for her. It never ceases to amaze me when there are two bio parents and they expect the step-parent to take care of their child. I think your wife is angry because there's more pressure to provide something unplanned. Why not agree to save or set up something special for your stepdaughter for her 18th birthday? You have a few years to save anyway. It doesn't have to be as grand as what you promised, but doing nothing is heartbreaking for your stepdaughter. I think she's confusing favoritism with responsibility. You have an obligation to your children, shared with your ex, for which you have spent years saving for. She has the responsibility for her child, shared with her ex, which she has not saved for. Your wife is just projecting her insecurities on her inadequate financial planning on you, likely expecting you to pick up the slack like you already do with your living expenses. OP, your wife sounds very entitled. Please tell me you have a prenup. If not, get a post-nup. So, weird situation and one I feel needs a real verdict where I can be impartial. So I, 30 male, have been married for 3 years to my wife Nicole. Nicole has a sister named Bella, who I despise. Just the kind of person I don't get along with. Never have since the moment we met. So I've tried everything to keep it cordial between us, but in my opinion she's petty, self-centered and just a scumbag. But my wife doesn't have much family outside her sister and her mom, so they've always been close. For a long time Bella was dating this dude Cody. Cody and I liked each other and would hang out. Well, Bella not only cheated on Cody, but the way she did it and who she did it with was awful. Totally crushed, Cody and Bella wouldn't let it go. She kept contacting, showing up at his place, until he eventually filed a restraining order. She always tried to act like Cody was the issue and he forced her to do it, LOL, so I stayed out of the whole mess. Basically telling my wife that she handles her family and I handle mine. But don't ask me to be kind to Bella or even cordial moving forward, as I've seen her true colours and don't want her around my life at all, because God knows what she's capable of. So recently Bella started dating again, and for some reason feels the need to bring these dudes over to our house. I've said from the beginning that I would definitely warn any man she brings over about her, so that is exactly what I've done. I've already ruined 2 potential relationships by telling the guys the truth. I ask them what they know about her. They say only good things. Bella's very good about putting on a good face. We then have a man-to-man type of conversation. I tell them exactly what happened with her and Cody and the RO. Both times the guys thanked me and told me they appreciated me watching out for them. Bella and I have gone at it over this. My wife tries to stay out of it, telling Bella that she shouldn't bring the guys over here if she doesn't want me saying anything. But behind closed doors, my wife is upset and saying I'm being an idiot and I'm putting her in a tough spot. I've said multiple times that it wouldn't be an issue if Bella was honest and told these guys up front, but I'm not covering up a liar and these guys deserve a clear view. And if she has a problem with it, don't bring the guys over. Am I the idiot? I mean, she has an RO on her, that's stalker level, so no, not the idiot. People in general should warn others about behaviour like that. Also, she brings them to your house. How are you going to stay silent, seeing she's an abuser? You're doing the right thing. Those guys deserve to know. And why is your wife enabling her sister's behaviour? Is it possible Bella has an ulterior motive to drive a wedge between you and your wife? Why your sister-in-law feels the need to bring these guys to your house is beyond me. A simple solution is just not to do that, which you've said and yet she keeps doing it. I'm not going to say not the idiot because it's not like you're tracking them down. She's bringing them to your house. I think she likes the drama and attention she gets from OP. Bella definitely is an abuser. She was emotionally abusive towards Cody and harassed him to the point he needed a court order. If she was a man, people would applaud placarding her face on a poster telling who she is. I'm currently on a fitness journey and I'm trying to get in shape. I've been dieting and working out consistently for 6 months and have seen serious changes. I'm sculpting a six-pack, my arms, legs and chest are getting much more muscular and I feel and look great. My wife doesn't like it. She doesn't like that I go to the gym every day and eat healthier now. I think that's crazy as I'm so much more physically attractive now that I'm in shape, so she should be into it. My wife does the majority of cooking for the family. Usually I'll just weigh out meals so I know how much I'm eating, which she also doesn't like, so I can track what I'm eating accurately. 2 weeks ago, after I weighed out my meal, I went to my son's room to let him know dinner was ready. When I returned to the table, I saw my wife mixing my bowl. She eventually admitted that sometimes she puts a little extra butter or oil in my food to slow my weight loss. This evolved into a small fight after dinner. Now I haven't eaten her cooking in 2 weeks and she's upset about that. I've been cooking for myself since I can't trust her not to sabotage my body. She's been mad about it and wants me to eat what she cooks for me despite what she did. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. For starters, you are justified in not eating her cooking. You get to decide what goes in your body. So why are you also the idiot? I'm so much more physically attractive now that I'm in shape, so she should be into it. That's an extraordinarily shallow take. Did you ever ask your wife what she finds attractive about you? Perhaps dad boobs are her thing. Clearly, sculpted abs are not. There's a disrupted line of communication between the two of you. It needs to be fixed, and the sooner the better. Stop. Opie has been working on going to the gym and eating healthily. He is allowed to reap the rewards, including a gain in confidence. Also, being possibly slightly overconfident is nowhere near the level of idiotry that is deliberately sabotaging someone's health journey by putting stuff in their food behind their back. It's not comparable. The wife, however, has gone out of her way to sabotage something that is increasing her partner's health and happiness. There is no excuse for that. None. Not insecurity, not her liking him better chubby, none. Period. Regardless, if OP likes himself better fitter, that's what matters. The wife's preference in men's bodies does not dictate what he can do, so no, communication is not the issue. Don't defend someone who is deliberately tearing someone else down. You are not the idiot, OP.